Dobry wieczór. Zapraszamy uczestników wszystkich. Witamy serdecznie dzisiejszego wieczoru. Jeszcze wieczór, jeszcze marzec, jeszcze dzień nie taki długi, ale już coraz dłuższy. Będziemy zaraz rozpoczynać. Jeszcze tutaj czekamy, aby się Państwo zalogowali. Widzimy, że liczba rośnie. Bardzo nam miło. Coraz więcej Państwa przybywa. Za chwilę zaczniemy. Damy szansę na posłuchanie od początku wszystkim uczestnikom. Dobrze. Dobry wieczór wszystkim Państwu. Jan Witek, bardzo mi miło. Witam Państwa serdecznie na drugim z serii spotkań, które przygotowaliśmy z Pearson Languages. Mam przyjemność powitać Państwa na dzisiejszym szkoleniu dr Beaty Trapnell. Natomiast jest z nami również Karolina Waligura z naszego zespołu, która na czacie podczas mojego wstępu będzie odpowiadać na Państwa pytania. Następnie czat wyłączymy i jeśli pojawią się pytania, prosimy o zadawanie w opcji Q&A. Wprowadzając Państwa w tematykę szkolenia, warto powiedzieć o dobrostanie, o czym jest dobre samopoczucie, o budowaniu obrazu samego siebie i samoakceptacji. To w teorii, a w praktyce bywa różnie, ponieważ żyjemy w bardzo dużym tempie. Mamy wiele spraw, które wymagają naszej uwagi, prywatnie i zawodowo. A to prowadzi do zmęczenia i braku chęci do własnego rozwoju językowego. Dlatego dzisiaj dr Beata Trapnell pokaże Państwu kilka sprawdzonych sposobów na to, jak zadbać o swój rozwój językowy przy okazji robienia rzeczy, które mogą być dla nas przyjemne i dostarczać nam pozytywnej energii. Jest to bardzo ważne szkolenie, dla mnie również będę bardzo bacznie słuchał Beaty. W pracy nauczyciela potrzebujemy prostych i sprawdzonych sposobów, a czasem gotowych rozwiązań, żeby dbać o siebie i uniknąć wypalenia zawodowego. Ostatnio słyszymy coraz częściej o tym dosyć niebezpiecznym zjawisku. Zanim oddam jednak głos Beacie Trapnell, chcę w imieniu Pearson Languages przypomnieć Państwu o dostępnych rozwiązaniach edukacyjnych dla szkół podstawowych i średnich. Korzystanie z nich może być jednym z elementów dbania o swój dobrostan zawodowy. Dlaczego? Ponieważ w ofercie Pearson dla szkół podstawowych mamy kursy stworzone z myślą o uczniach, którzy potrzebują przestrzeni na uważną naukę i tych potrzebujących większych wyzwań językowych, dla tych, którzy ze spokojem patrzą na egzamin ósmoklasisty i tych, którzy potrzebują gruntownej powtórki na ostatniej prostej. Jeśli o ósmoklasistach mowa, to warto również przypomnieć, że w edesku w zakładce Testy, bank testów znajdą Państwo próbne arkusze egzaminacyjne, które myślimy na pewno pomogą tegorocznym i przyszłorocznym zdającym egzamin. Zapraszamy również do skorzystania z oficjalnych zestawów słownictwa do kursów Stars and Heroes poziom 1 oraz I Succeed in English A1. Są dostępne w aplikacji Quizlet. Wiemy, że ta aplikacja cieszy się bardzo dużą popularnością wśród Państwa i uczniów. Jest to znane i lubiane rozwiązanie, które pozwala na wygodne powtórki oraz utrwalanie słownictwa z Państwa dniami. Z kolei w propozycji dla szkół średnich znajdą Państwo kursy, które są doceniane i lubiane przez nauczycieli. Dlaczego? Ponieważ nasze rozwiązania naprawdę działają. Ucząc języka potrzebnego do komunikacji i przygotowując do egzaminów maturalnych. Tym z Państwa, których uczniowie korzystają w bieżącym roku szkolnym z kursów Focus, Second Edition i High Note, może być niezwykle łatwo obiektywnie oraz regularnie oceniać swoje umiejętności. Dlaczego? Ponieważ każdy poziom naszego kursu w cenie podręcznika daje uczniowi dostęp do bezpłatnego profesjonalnego testu benchmark. Czym jest benchmark? To test, który każdy wykona w domu przed komputerem. Co daje taki test? Po pierwsze, obiektywną informację o poziomie językowym, niezależnie i szczegółowo. Wynik to nie tylko sucha informacja o poziomie w skali CEF czy GSE, ale także szczegółowy raport dotyczący każdej sprawności. Co nastolatek umie dobrze, z czym ma problem i nad czym musi popracować, jeśli chce osiągnąć wyższy poziom językowy. I wisienka na torcie, imienny certyfikat potwierdzający aktualny poziom zaawansowania. Jeszcze raz podkreślę, wszystko to w ramach ceny podręcznika, a kod dostępu znajduje się na naklejce na przedniej okładce książki. Na ekranie widzą Państwo adres strony, na której można dowiedzieć się więcej ciekawych informacji pearson.pl/sprawdza. Od września ubiegłego roku uczniowie pracujący z serią Focus Second Edition, korzystający z zeszytu ćwiczeń, mają również drukowane kompendium maturalne. Wiemy, że ten materiał cieszy się bardzo dużą popularnością i na pewno pomaga Państwu i uczniom w nauczaniu i w nauce. Czym jest kompendium maturalne? To około 80 zadań maturalnych z zakresu mediacji językowych, setów leksykalnych oraz środków językowych. Natomiast ci z Państwa, którzy korzystają z serii High Note, mają dostęp do tych materiałów w wygodnej, interaktywnej postaci bezpośrednio w edesku. Uczniowie korzystający z podręcznika i zeszytu ćwiczeń do kursu Focus Second Edition mają również możliwość skorzystania z nowoczesnej aplikacji do nauki języków obcych Mondly by Pearson. Co znajduje się w tej aplikacji? Pełny dostęp premium do 41 języków, czyli paleta jest naprawdę olbrzymia. Aplikacja dostępna na wszystkich urządzeniach z każdego miejsca na świecie. Lekcje oparte są na prawdziwych sytuacjach z wykorzystaniem różnych typów aktywności. Ponad 40 tematów, które wzbogacają i utrwalają słownictwo nauczane w klasie. Znajdują się tam również elementy grywalizacji, m.in. cotygodniowe wyzwania oraz możliwość konkurowania ze znajomymi. Oraz bardzo wygodna funkcja hands-free z narzędziem rozpoznawania mowy, który umożliwia prowadzenie symulacji rozmów bez patrzenia na ekran swojego urządzenia, dzięki czemu możemy zaoszczędzić nasz cenny wzrok. Wystarczy pobrać aplikację Mondly ze sklepu App Store lub Google Play, skorzystać z kodu i można zacząć rozwijać swoje umiejętności językowe. Na skorzystanie z tej oferty uczniowie mają 6 miesięcy. Coraz bliżej tegoroczny egzamin maturalny, pomimo chłodu, maj zbliża się i z nim egzamin maturalny, i na pewno jest tutaj wiele potrzeb dotyczących sprawdzenia umiejętności potrzebnych do egzaminu. Dlatego przypominamy, że jeśli na platformie eDesk mają Państwo dostęp do jakiegokolwiek kursu dla szkół średnich, Focus Second Edition, High Note, repetytorium dla liceów i techników, to mają również Państwo dostęp do próbnych arkuszy egzaminacyjnych. Znajdują się one w zakładce Testy, Bank Test. I tak, możemy skorzystać z próbnych egzaminów maturalnych arkuszy do pobrania albo próbnego egzaminu do matury dwujęzycznej. Wiem, że tutaj jest bardzo duża potrzeba takich arkuszy. Próbny egzamin poziom podstawowy, próbny egzamin poziom rozszerzony. Jak również świetnym uzupełnieniem treningu przed maturą mogą być dostępne testy diagnostyczne w formacie zadań maturalnych dla szkoły średniej. Znajdą Państwo te materiały w zakładce Testy, Bank Testów, kolekcji Język Angielski Szkoła Średnia Diagnoza. Jeśli internet w szkole nie należy do najszybszych, często wiem, że tak rzeczywiście jest, lub jeśli połączenie nie jest wystarczająco stabilne, mamy bardzo dobre rozwiązanie dla Państwa. Proponujemy skorzystanie z nowej aplikacji Pearson eDesk. Aplikacja pozwala nauczycielom na pracę ze wszystkimi zasobami platformy edesk.pearson.pl w trybie offline, czyli dostępu bez internetu. Przed zajęciami wystarczy pobrać w aplikacji zasoby, które mogą przydać się podczas lekcji z uczniami, a potem uruchomić je bezpośrednio z komputera lub telefonu, bez konieczności łączenia się z siecią. Jak wygląda rozpoczęcie pracy z aplikacją Pearson eDesk? Bardzo prosto. Rozpoczynamy od pobrania instalacji aplikacji dla wybranego systemu, następnie logujemy się do aplikacji za pomocą tych samych danych używanych podczas dostępu online na platformie eDesk i poprzez kliknięcie przycisku pobierz przy wybranej lekcji lub innym zasobie, np. audio czy wideo, pobieramy materiał na dane urządzenie. Przy pierwszym uruchomieniu aplikacji urządzenie musi być podłączone do internetu, aby synchronizować wszystkie dane oraz zasoby. Wszystkie pobrane materiały pozostają dostępne wewnątrz aplikacji i mogą zostać wykorzystane podczas zajęć bez dostępu internetu. Korzystając jeszcze z tak licznej Państwa obecności już dziś, zapraszamy na kolejne wydarzenie z serii Czas na zmianę. Zadbaj o dobrostan i radość z pracy, które odbędzie się 8 kwietnia. Szczegóły znajdą Państwo na stronie pearson.pl/dobrostan. Tym razem nasze trenerki zaproponują praktyczne i skuteczne sposoby na płynną zmianę poziomów w nauczanych grupach. Jest to bardzo duża potrzeba obecnie. I tak. Dorota Tolsdorf o godzinie 18 opowie o tym, jak przestawić się płynnie na pracę z najmłodszymi, jeśli do tej pory pracowaliśmy ze starszymi uczniami i na wyższych poziomach. Następnie o godzinie 18:30 Katarzyna Synder-Tamborska podpowie, co działa w przypadku młodszych nastolatków i jak tutaj szybko wdrożyć się w pracę. Następnie o 19:15 Aleksandra Kiełtucka podzieli się pomysłami na pracę ze starszymi nastolatkami, co działa, co zachęca i co motywuje. I na zakończenie o 19:45 Magda Kania opowie, co najlepiej sprawdza się w pracy z dorosłymi uczniami. Przypominamy, że materiały konferencyjne oraz certyfikaty potwierdzające udział w szkoleniach są dostępne na Państwa kontach na stronie pearson.pl po zalogowaniu. W zakładkach moje certyfikaty i moje materiały. Certyfikaty pojawią się do końca tego tygodnia pojawią się na Państwa kontach. Żeby tak się stało, bardzo prosimy pamiętać o tym, żeby rejestrować się na szkolenia Pearson tym samym adresem mailowym, którego użyli Państwo do założenia konta na pearson.pl i którym logują się Państwo do tego konta. A teraz już zapraszamy na spotkanie z dr Beatą Trapnell, która opowie dziś, jak zadbać o swój rozwój językowy. Zapraszamy serdecznie.
Dzień dobry, dobry wieczór. Mam nadzieję, że mnie słychać dobrze. Witam wszystkich Państwa bardzo serdecznie na moim webinarze. Tak bym dodałabym jeszcze do tego, tak? Good afternoon and good evening. Hello and ciao. So you will see that I will need several languages. Proszę Państwa, to jest webinar, który myślę, że jest bardzo istotny. Nauczyciel uczniem, ponieważ stajemy się takimi uczniami w chwili takiej, kiedy tak naprawdę opuszczamy mury uczelni, kiedy nasz poziom języka, znajomości języka myślę, że jest bardzo wysoki, nagle stajemy przed takim problemem, zaczynamy pracować w szkole na różnego rodzaju poziomach i nagle się okazuje, że nie mamy takiej możliwości, żeby używać tego angielskiego właśnie na takim poziomie, jakim na przykład były to studia. A z drugiej strony też jest tak, że w nasz zawód nauczyciela, jest wkalkulowana taka potrzeba ciągłego rozwoju, ciągłego szkolenia. A mamy jeszcze kolejny powód, przecież tak naprawdę ta nasza ekspozycja na język nie jest aż tak duża, aż tak wysoka zwykle, kiedy właśnie opuściliśmy, tak jak już powiedziałam wcześniej, mury uczelni. Stąd taki właśnie pomysł na ten webinar, na to, żebyśmy troszeczkę o siebie zadbali. I chciałabym Państwu pokazać w takich kilku krótkich krokach, co możemy zrobić, żeby właśnie ta imersja językowa była i ekspozycja na język były jak największe, a jednocześnie, żeby nie zabierało nam to czasu i jeszcze, żeby był ten trzeci element spełniony, czyli żeby był z tego fan. Język zmienia się cały czas. Tak jak i w języku polskim dochodzi nowe słownictwo, nowe struktury, taki również jest w każdym innym, w języku angielskim oczywiście też. Więc tym bardziej jest istotne, abyśmy jak najwięcej i jak najczęściej poszukiwali takich momentów, żebyśmy mogli tym językiem się posługiwać. Ponieważ idą święta, więc ten z mojej strony taki prezent, a mianowicie tak jak na platformie streamingowej będą Państwo mieli slajdy w języku polskim, natomiast ja swój webinar poprowadzę w języku angielskim. So, let's start. And before we actually go to certain examples which I would like to show you, to share with you, which are also part of my experience, because I did say ciao to you for a good reason. I've been learning Italian for some time, and I look for different ways of actually expanding my knowledge, of trying to practice Italian. So some of the things that you will see in my webinar will be connected as well with me or with my experience. However, what I would like to start with is what our superpowers are, because we as teachers of foreign languages, teachers of English, have unbelievable superpowers, which help us actually to learn and then to teach. What they are is, for a start, content. We know a lot about what we want to teach, what we want to learn. We have to remember that as teachers, we are probably the best educated people in the world. Please remember that we are experts on absolutely everything. If you look at the topics which are for A-level exams, for GCSEs, you have to know about everything. Another thing is our organizational skills. If you want to be a good teacher, you have to be very well organized. You have to know well ahead what you are going to do. We are very often exposed to tricky situations when somebody is ill, absent, another teacher, and we suddenly have to find the material and we have to go there and teach a group that we have never seen before. So that's another of the superpower. Then flexibility. Think about yourselves, how often you have to adapt to the group you have, the material you are teaching. It's not always clear that, or you can't always be sure that what you want to teach can be actually done. Sometimes you have to change. Another thing is creativity. How often do we spend hours on end, evenings, instead of with a family, trying to think of new material, of, cutting out, preparing presentations and so on. Okay, so this is our creativity. That's another superpower. Then our skills. We analyze a lot. We have to think ahead, as I said. Also, I know that we are not maybe, well, I'm talking about myself maybe as a sort of like generation thing. So not a digital native. However, we have excellent digital skills. We know really how to use the internet, how to use all kinds of digital materials, and once again, adapt them. So, and another thing is the need for self-development. That's why you're all here, I believe. That's why I am here as well. Yeah. So we have to think about all these sort of superpowers as those items, those which will help us work towards our own well-being and towards our self-development. So let's start. So how can we join and how can we combine our superpowers with the need to look after ourselves? Very often as teachers, and I am also an English teacher, we have very limited time. So that's what I would like to show you. Just a few short things, little things that I'm sure will help you. Number one thing is I would like to share with you these ideas, which I have divided into 3 different areas for self-development. The first one is kind of everyday activities. What is it that you can do every day? Simple things which will help you think about your language and expand it. Another one is entertainment. Obviously, if you have time, you can get involved in the entertainment every single day. Why not? However, for me, it's a different kettle of fish. And the last area will be trying to express yourself. However, let's start with the first one. So, as I say, everyday activity. My first idea is to change the settings on all your devices into English. You can take out your smartphone now, your laptop, your iPad, your computer, etc. And instead of using Polish, try and use English. What you will see is suddenly a whole range of vocabulary that probably you have never been aware of. I have to say that it was today or yesterday when somebody as all my devices are in English. So as somebody used the word in Polish plakietki, and the problem was that plakietki się nie wyświetlały na iPhone'ie, kiedy wysyłałam wiadomości Messengerem. So for me, it was like a new vocabulary, I mean, new Polish word, because what I only know is, well, there are badges when I look at settings for example, notifications. So what happened to me is that I've learned a new Polish word, however strange it may sound. But as I say, I have been aware for a long time of what vocabulary is on my devices. Do it, seriously. You will gain the knowledge, the necessary knowledge of some sort of like technical areas. I think that's incredibly important. And as I say, it's very simple. Yeah? You don't have to do much apart from change the language. Another thing which is very important, I think, especially nowadays, the whole well, the webinars, all the webinars that Pearson has prepared is to do with our well-being. So how can we look after ourselves, and in looking after ourselves, also think about our language. This is something that I use. I've downloaded an app about being happier, kinder, together. The name of it is Action for Happiness. What it is, and as you can see, you've got a QR code with a direct link to the app. Why is it important? Well, to me, it is important because I would like to see and experience something good in every single day. Instead of going to a web page which is good.co, where you only get the good news, you can download an app like that. What else do you gain apart from being exposed to something which sort of is on the brink of happiness? You get, for example, a calendar which gives you some good news and encourages you to get to do something positive, to think about something positive. Then, like, for example, as you can see, has cultivated a feeling of loving kindness towards others today. Why not? You also get to know other people. You can exchange some ideas for happiness, for kind actions, so to speak. So it's not that you only are exposed to the language, but you can also contribute, which is very good because you have a way of thinking about yourself, thinking about your feelings, your thoughts, which you can then put together and share with others. So I would really encourage you to do that. So as I say, so here it is for tomorrow. Yes, so cultivate a feeling of loving and kindness towards others today, which is then tomorrow. Simple, I think, very simple. Then I do like cooking, I have to say, and my favorite chef is Jamie Oliver. And the reason is that it's fun. What he does. It's simple. I follow him on YouTube. I've learned, I think, with him some very simple, he's shared his sort of like kitchen secrets. You can filter recipes by ingredients that you have. So what you then gain from something like that? Number one thing, you learn maybe to cook. You learn to cook something new. You, once again, expand your vocabulary in terms of the ingredients. You learn about an English-speaking culture, and Jamie Oliver is very well known for making it also, as I say, fun. So why not? As I say, even if you are an experienced chef, why don't you do it? When can you do it? Well, while you are preparing a meal for a family or for yourself. So you see, you can combine two things together. I know it can be tricky sometimes to get some ingredients that he mentions, but why don't we maybe take the time and the sometimes the courage, yes, to get something new and taste it. So that's another simple, I think, option. And as I say, you are exposed to language, to his accent, and please believe me, he really makes it fun. Some recipes are longer, some are shorter, so you can also decide how long you want to be with him and how long you want to listen to. Then another idea which I have is I call it English Hunt or Hunt for English. Now, we've got English absolutely everywhere, and I've always encouraged my students to spot English announcements in English instructions, look at labels, read them. There are plenty, believe me. I've been traveling quite a lot recently by train, and I deliberately make myself sort of notice English instructions or instructions in English. Sometimes I just sort of laugh. Sometimes I have a smile on my face, and sometimes I just look at it and I think, oh my God, who has written it? So once again, as soon as we are aware of the fact that English is all around us, then what we can do is to maybe take photos, share them of like sort of little snaps, share them with our students, then look at it, analyze. By giving them also example of yourself that you are doing it, you will be encouraging as well your students. And once again, this is looking at the language from probably a little bit of a different perspective, because we are looking probably at the language which is which has been translated. Now, one more thing which is connected with this sort of hunting for English everywhere. As I say, I do travel or have been traveling quite a lot recently. What I would encourage you to do is to travel also virtually. We don't really have to go anywhere. But when we do travel, then you see, we are once again exposed to the language. We have to look for information. We have to read about different countries. Do it in English. Look for web pages which are in English. Follow some sort of blogs, travelers blogs. Why not? Okay. Now, number two area is the entertainment, and I'm sure that here there will be a few more ideas that you might have already followed, or you might be new for you. Number one for me would be playing Scrabble. Scrabble is a tricky game, as you probably know. So you can find a friend that you can play Scrabble with. You can play with the computer again as well. Why not? The reason why it is tricky is that for even people whose English is very good, you know, trying to find a word that would fit is actually, I think, can be quite challenging. Well, I find it challenging, and that's why I like it. Why? Because it sort of like stretches my my brain a little bit. It helps me think about other words. It makes me also look things up. So it's not only that I can sort of like come up with the words straight away, you know. So this is something that I'm sure would help you as well come up with new words. But also, if you are playing, you know, with a friend, what obviously you do is you learn from each other, which I think is very, very important. Now, once again, something incredibly easy to do. Follow a celebrity, follow your favorite celebrity. You can see who I like to follow. I think Meryl Streep is a fantastic actress, so that's what I do. What you do then get, obviously, apart from very short descriptions of her, some of the things she said, and she is a very outspoken and opinionated woman as well. I'm sure you know that. But you can also go to the archives, so you can listen to her, read what she's got to say, and so on. So a very simple thing, something that can once again come up on the screen of your smartphone every day. It won't take you long, but once again, you are exposed to the real language. It's not artificially prepared for you. So this is like an actress who doesn't adapt her language to, I don't know, to her audience. Yeah, she says what she wants to say. And as I say, she is an incredibly opinionated woman, so I think it's worth following. But obviously, you might have some other people who you like to follow. So, but also we do want to have fun. I don't know if you heard or if you've seen, probably seen more, Celeste Barber. She is Australian, so you see you've got another, you had American, so Meryl Streep, now you've got Australian Celeste Barber. You might have seen her because what she does is she pokes fun really at depiction of celebrities on Instagram. So if you have ever seen, let's say, a celebrity who is holding a baby, then she's got, I don't know, a bag full of shopping and wearing high heels and using one of her heels, of her high heels, she is trying to open the boot of a car. And then Celeste will kind of impersonate that. So I would say great fun. She is the Australian queen of comedy. If you go to Celeste Challenge Accepted, you will also hear her speak about celebrities. She tries to recreate, as I say, celebrity sort of lives, but she also gives interviews. So she's incredibly popular. What it gives me is this aspect of having fun, trying to break as well the routine. There she is, yes, Celeste Barber. Once again, you've got a QR code to follow her or to look her up. I deeply believe that we have to expose ourselves to different accents. So don't just think about the sort of the British English, but look around and see wherever you can find different exposures. So American, obviously Australian, Irish, and so on. And talking about Irish, I've got another person, another idea for you. I don't know if you have ever heard, if you have ever seen the Graham Norton show. Graham Norton is Irish, and I would say that what he does is he invites guests, and these guests are usually actors. They're also musicians. He's been on, I think, BBC Two, but obviously you can find him on YouTube since 2007. And his show is characterized by his adult humor, by his flamboyant presentation, by his opening monologue. And as I say, he is Irish, and that's as well what you will hear. He's received a number of awards for television awards for BAFTA, obviously, TV awards, I think about 5 times. And once again, every show is fairly short, so you don't have to spend, a long time in front of your computer or in front of your smartphone or an iPad. However, what you do get is him, plus also other guests. So once again, what we have is the real language, yes, exposure to the real language. If you've got somebody else like that, yeah, sure, just do it. But I think the most important is being aware that such people there are in the world, and they are very happy to share with us their knowledge, and invite others to talk about sometimes very important issues. But as I say, this is fun, and since we are talking about well-being, so we need to have a little bit of good humor in life. So that's my recommendation. Now, when we think about something that we can do while we are, I don't know, cooking, driving, using public transport, during a 20-minute break between classes, listen to podcasts. So obviously, if you've got some that you like, why not? Podcasts are usually, once again, short, and you can listen to them again and again and again. And also, what I would recommend, sometimes it's a good idea to listen to the same podcast again. That's what I would especially recommend with, we're talking about it in a moment, with BBC, but I will tell you why in a moment. Now, I don't know how good you are at singing. However, when you do go to lyricstraining.com, you may not have to, you don't have to sing. I can't sing, but I like lyricstraining.com for one simple reason. There are 4 different levels. It's beginners, intermediate, advanced, and expert. And what you need to do is you listen to a certain chunk of the song. You obviously choose the song, as I say, you choose the level, and what you need to do is to fill in gaps. So you can see the lyrics, and you have to listen and then complete the gaps. Obviously, then you get your score, so you know how many gaps you have managed to fill. What are your hits and what are your faults? Now, what you can see that I hope, and you are aware what I'm doing, is trying to expose you as well to the sort of to the spoken language, but also to the written language. I know that that because we have to write, so that may take time. But maybe you can find, just a few minutes every single day, I don't know, while you are even just, already in bed. Well, why don't you do something like that? Okay, but that's, as I say, that's my recommendation. Would I recommend going for the expert level? Well, maybe not if you haven't tried it. So, but you can do intermediate, advanced. The choice is yours. And remember, there is nobody there to judge how good or how poorly you're doing. You are your own mentor. You are your own teacher. Now, another recommendation which I have is TED. It's TED Daily. This is something which I have subscribed to, or subscribed some time ago, and every single day I get a short, I get an email. I have looked at my last emails, like, for example, the Great Conspiracy Against Julius Caesar. Why was the Rosetta Stone so important? How one scientist averted a national health crisis. Today was something about cats. So what you can do then, you have a chance to read. It's a very short text. If you want to go deeper, yes, you can. You can then watch, for example, about that particular topic. You can watch a short film, but also what you can do using it as well as your material for your students, you can choose different level, elementary, middle school, high school, or university level, which will then expand the topic. So what it means is that not only do you learn something new, but you also provide your students with a bit of language. So what it is important in here, I would say, for me as well, is that I do expand my knowledge. I'm sure that we all learned about Rosetta Stone some time ago, but then, you know, it's easy to forget. You get, as I say, if you subscribe, so you get an email daily when you've got the time. So that's what you can do. Just look it up. And then, as I say, you choose what you want to do with it. Then, obviously, you know, Saturday evening, so watch Netflix. I can't say ad nauseam, however, or any other sort of like streaming platform. Why not? And here I would like to go back to my Italian, and I would like to share with you what it is that I do when I watch a film which is in Italian. You can use that in English. I usually watch it 3 times. I know it sounds maybe strange. And the reason why. The first time I watch it with English subtitles. The second time I watch it with Italian subtitles. And the third time when I watch it is without subtitles. Obviously, I always watch it in the original language, which is Italian. How can we do it in English? Well, watch it with the English subtitles, and then the second time switch it off. What happens as well when you switch off the subtitles, I'm sure you're aware, you suddenly focus on what's on the screen. So we stop reading, but we start listening, which I think is very, very important. That's, as I say, from my experience, something that has helped me expand my Italian, and also probably lose my English accent when I speak Italian. My Italian teacher says that my Italian is very, very English. Oh, well, I'm working on it. Now, another example that might be a good idea is listening to the radio. Very easy, you know, it just, if you are going jogging, doing the shopping, as I say, cooking, spending time on your own, well, why not? Just put the radio on, and that's very easy to listen to. There is one thing with BBC, which I also recommend. I'm sure that those of you who have tried to listen to the news, the BBC is very, very good in terms of the English language. And they are very careful about the vocabulary, however, and the accent. However, they do have a tendency to speak very fast. And that's what I also say to my students. Listen to it twice, 3 times. Remember, the news is on the hour. It takes probably about a minute or 2. If you listen to it, I don't know, 6 or 7 times during the day on the hour, because you just remember to do it, then at the end of the day, you will remember not only what has happened, but also you will pick up some of the more difficult vocabulary. So, you know, why not? Obviously, for us, I think as teachers, reading is very important. I understand we don't always have the time. I don't have the time. My pile of books to read is sort of like becoming a bigger pile. However, good idea. Could be sort of audiobooks. Why not? Once again, easy to download, easy to choose. So, you know, if you want, instead of books, listen to music in that way, yes, of course. So that's another thing. Obviously, what we'll have in here as well will be Pearson. That helps us with the abbreviated novels. So if we want to share that with our students, we encourage our students to do it. Why don't we do it ourselves? Another web page which I would like to recommend is this Breaking News English, because that's also, you get sort of like English news lessons. There are 7 levels. Once again, you've got a QR code so that you can check it up, look it up straight away. And not only does it provide you with that particular web page, does it provide you with some sort of content for your classes, but also information for you. And once again, we are expanding our knowledge about the world. Obviously, everybody has a hobby. So instead of looking things up in the Polish language, why not switch it to English? If you are into plants, why not? If furniture restoration is your thing, here we are, follow different blogs. If you are into sports, once again, look things up in the in English. And also what you can do in here is a variety of blogs, a variety of web pages. What you become then is an expert at what you really are already an expert. So as I say, if you've got a hobby, if something is your passion, instead of just reading about it in Polish, why don't you do it in English? Simple, similar to cooking. Now, another area I called express yourself, because you know, being exposed to language is all very good. However, as we say to students, what we do need to do is also, well, apply what we know, and production is the most important. So it's very good listening, watching, looking, reading, and so on. But the real test really comes when we have to produce the language. So how can we help ourselves? Number one thing is keep a diary. I know it may sound like an incredibly time-consuming formula. Well, it's not. If you allocate 10 minutes of your day, 10 minutes, it's really not much. And you write even 2, 3 sentences, start with 1. But you make a conscious decision what you really want to include in your writing. Like, for example, an idiom, a phrasal verb, or the word of the day. New York Times provides you on its web pages word of the day. Choose it. Why not? Look it up if you don't know the word. Look at the examples, how it is used. Then think about, at the end of the day, think about your day. Maybe you can find something that you can use that word to describe. Make a little bit of an effort to do it. So, you know, what you then gain is not only that your English is getting better, but you also go deeper. You look at yourself, you think about your day, your time, you practice a little bit of mindfulness. That also, I think, is very important when we talk about our well-being. Yep, give it a go, really. If not writing, as some of us are not into it, then why don't you join chats? Why don't you and your friends decide that today is the day when we only text to each other in English, when we only talk to each other in English? What's very important here is making, once again, a conscious decision that we don't judge each other. We just use the language as we know it. We make mistakes. We all make mistakes, however good or bad our English or any other language is. The most important is, as we say to our students, don't be afraid. So I encourage you to do the same. If you don't want to do it with a close friends of or with, with a circle of your friends, well, look up social media. There are plenty of groups of people who are very happy to do that. I'm sure that it's very easy to find even native speakers of English online who would be happy to join such a group. Sometimes what we can do is exchange. So, half an hour in English and half an hour in Polish. I know that in the south of Poland, I think in Katowice, I know about Poznań as well, where people meet in pubs just in order to practice English. Well, I think it needs to be, we need to make a little bit of an effort, obviously, to find such groups, but why not? You will see then what happens to your language. So I would like to sort of sum up what I've already told you, and I hope that you will find the ideas useful. But if I were to think about how to achieve that success, well, I would say number one thing is the tools. You know what to do. So you know about everyday activities, about entertainment, you know how to express yourself. So these are the tools that you can use. Another one is, I call it like 3D. What it is you have to make a decision that you want to improve. You have to have the self-discipline. You have to be self-disciplined in order to allocate time every single day to do it. And also you have to be determined. You have to know within yourself that you want your English to be better. Then what else? Please do get involved. Use all your senses in order to learn, in order to practice. Don't sort of think about the language as only the spoken one. As I say, read, listen, look, and so on. Okay, all the senses. Then another thing, which I believe is incredibly important, is to try to identify what stops us from trying. This is like a little bit of an analysis of ourselves. So what am I afraid of? Of somebody making, I don't know, fun of me, of making mistakes? Well, why? We go to a country where we know, for example, the language very little, and then we come up against somebody who doesn't speak, for example, English. Well, we can make an effort and we can try and communicate with those people. I'm sure that you have found yourselves once, at least in life, in such a situation where you have to use your hands, when you have to draw, and so on and so forth. So think about what stops you from self-development. And another thing, which is, I think, well, fairly easy, but it also might be an incredibly difficult thing to do. What's your plan for tomorrow? What are you going to take from those ideas that I have given you, from those examples? What are you going to apply tomorrow? What is your plan for the next day and the next day? I hope I have given you enough, so that would keep you going for at least several days or several, well, weeks, I hope, yes, or maybe months.
Thank you, Beata, for incredibly fruitful and inspiring training, full of hints and tips on how to look after one's linguistic development. Szanowni Państwo, na slajdzie widzimy kod QR, ponieważ bardzo prosimy już teraz zeskanować taki kod, ponieważ chcemy się dowiedzieć, jak Państwu podobają się nasze szkolenia. Sharing is caring. Też tutaj jest taka, myślę, fajna, cenna informacja. Feedback is a gift. Także bardzo prosimy zeskanować ten kod. Tam jest kilka takich kluczowych pytań, ponieważ chcemy przygotować jak najlepsze szkolenia dla Państwa. Także skanujemy jeszcze chwileczkę, zostawimy sobie ten slajd, żeby Państwo spokojnie tutaj... Kody QR są bardzo popularne, Beata, prawda? Widziałem tutaj też u Ciebie na slajdach, niesamowita teraz jest tak. To myślę bardzo pomocna i taka, prawda? Tak, teraz też taka skuteczna metoda, żeby szybko przekazać informacje. Także prosimy o odpowiedzi na pytania. I mamy jeszcze jeden slajd dla Państwa, finalny, ponieważ następne szkolenia odbędą się już po świętach i w związku z tym w imieniu swoim, Beaty, jak również całego zespołu Pearsona życzymy Państwu dobrych świąt, zatroszczenia się o swój dobrostan, zatrzymania się na chwilę, sam wiem po sobie, że trzeba na chwilę popatrzeć na to, co jest wokół i tak zatrzymać się w tym mindfulness, w tej takiej uważności, bo to nam będzie rzeczywiście procentowało, i będzie nam się lepiej żyło. Także bardzo dziękujemy jeszcze raz, Beato, za fantastyczne szkolenie. Zapraszamy Państwa do uczestnictwa w następnych. Widzimy się po świętach wielkanocnych. Wszystkiego dobrego, dobranoc, dobrego wieczoru.
Thank you very much as well, and I wish you a really blessed Easter. I would say look after yourselves, people. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.